back to my channel, Read and Escape with Nina. So yes, I'm in my office, still in my office, just in a different location, sort of just um turn my desk around, just a different scenery. Plus I always like to have Michael Myers behind me. But yeah, I wanted to jump on today. To what I want to talk about today is something a little bit different. I'm going to strictly go over books that I have DNF, like just a couple of books that I have here that, for the life of me, I just could not get through them. I could not finish them. So I'm definitely going to be ranting a lot in this one. No disrespect to the authors or anything, or to anyone who actually enjoyed these books. It's just my personal um, interpretation, and I just couldn't get with it. So let's get started. And if you're wondering, I'm wearing my I Wish a Karen Would hoodie today because um the weather is giving fall vibes lately, and I'm feeling it. I'm enjoying it. I am so ready for the fall. That's why I got my nice little hoodie on. And so yeah, I had to get into like the spirit of things. All right, let's get started. So the first book that I had to DNF was We Family of Liars. This is the prequel to We Were Liars, and it's by E. Lockhart. I just couldn't get into it. And I later found out that it was YA, which is young adult. Doesn't mean anything to me. There are some young adult books that I actually did enjoy. Um, but this one just didn't grasp me. It's about the Sinclair family. They have this beautiful life on an island. And there's it just goes through the lives of the siblings, and there's family secrets, which is normally a trope that I do enjoy, but I just wasn't getting into it. I just could not. And I was waiting to get to the big secret. I couldn't even get that far. I stopped. It was getting to the point where I didn't want to pick the book up, and I was afraid that it was going to put me into a reading slump. So I DNF'd. This will be donated, or if one of you would like to have it, if you comment below, I'd be happy to send it to you. No problem. Next book that I DNF is another YA. Is another YA book. It's called The Dare by Natasha Preston. The Dare. I thought I was gonna get into this. It's about some seniors when it's about what's the name of the high school? Well, it's in a town called Marley, and the high school seniors traditionally throw a big prank their senior year, and it starts off with being as simple as egging houses or throwing filled up balloons and stuff like that. But then this one turns into something else that could possibly get them expelled or arrested or worse. And you can't back out of this dare, but there's consequences. And I was really excited to see what this dare was and how it was going to turn out to be. I couldn't get past the teenagers in their text talk, um, and their writing. If my daughter was a big reader, I think she would really enjoy this. I thought about doing a soft DNF. A soft DNF is typically when you read a book and at that time you're just not getting into it. So instead of just completely DNFing and just being done with it, you'll just put it down because maybe you're just not in the mood for that type of reading at that time, and you may pick it up later. But this is a DNF. I don't see myself um, reading it. So yeah. Again, if anybody wants it, let me know. I'll be happy to give it to you. Next one I DNF, Confessions. I'm so disappointed in Confessions by Kanae Minato. I was so excited about this. It's a revenge trope, which is totally up my alley. It's something that I would really enjoy. But it turned out to be unbelievable. It's about a middle school teacher who one of her daughter's peers killed her, and so she gets these middle schoolers in a group in a circle, and she's talking to them the whole time in the book. There's not much dialogue. It's just her talking and her inner thoughts. And she's carrying on for I don't know how long to these middle schoolers. And I'm like, can you actually hold their attention for that long? And she's just kind of like leading them up to I know what you did type of thing. And it just started dragging out. It was losing my interest. Yeah, I just wasn't getting into it. And I was really excited for it and waiting and waiting and waiting to see what she's going to do. She also talks about HIV quite a bit in this. I believe her ex husband had it, but she and her daughter never contracted the disease. But she's weaponizing it with these middle schoolers. I, I, I don't, it's a no. It's a DNF. I can't do it. I tried. Anybody interested, let me know. I'm happy to send it to you because you guys might like it. All right, let's move on. I think I have like two more books left, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, so the next one that I DNF'd is called Someday Maybe. Look at this beautiful cover. I mean, the cover alone captured me. It's absolutely beautiful. I love her skin color, her afro. I thought this would be, relatable. And the author is Anyi, but I'm going to let you guys take a stab at the last name. I cannot pronounce it. Obviously, an African writer. This is about a Nigerian family. This lady loses her husband to suicide, which is extremely tragic. And she's just going through the emotional motions from that. And, she has kids. So she has to lean on family to come in to be there for her kids because she just absolutely doesn't have the mental capacity to do it at this time. And it sort of drags and it's sad for obvious reasons, but it was just a little bit too much for me. And I just couldn't get into it. It wasn't grasping me. I'm tempted to put this one on a soft DNF because I really want to give this author a chance. Um, I might read this later. I might consider going back to this later on. We'll see. So this one might be a soft DNF, but I just wanted to share it. I think it's a beautiful cover, and I love reading about like African families and their cultures and things like that. I think it's really fun. And I'm sad to say this, guys. My next DNF, you're not gonna believe it. I've been talking about this book for a while, but my next DNF is Stephen King Under the Dome. No, this is my first ever Stephen King DNF. I have every book that I picked up that was Stephen King, I've read it all the way through so far. Now he has a huge, like I have some here from my Stephen King collection behind me and some over there on the other side. He has a huge body of work, and obviously I haven't even put a dent in it, but every one that I've read, I've absolutely finished it. This one, I could not do it. This is a really thick book. I feel like I got, how far did I get? I don't know, maybe a little over 400 pages. It, it was just a little too much. Um, for this book to take place in a course of a week, there's just too much going on for it. I think it could have been a lot shorter. A lot of things could have been cut out. There's a lot of characters, which there were a lot of characters in The Stand, which is behind me. Um, and I was absolutely fine with that. No problem. But this one is just, it's just it was too much, and it was becoming a little redundant and silly. This one didn't do it for me. It was hard to stop reading it because he is one of my favorite authors. Um, but I just couldn't get into it. So basically, it's about this dome that encloses into over a town. You can't get in, you can't get out. And at the time that this big dome came down, it severed hands, arms. If you were in the way of its path, then you may have been cut, split, or killed or something like that. And I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be exciting. Um, and it did start off that way and grabbed my attention. And, there were some characters that I enjoyed and some not so much. But after a while, it was just, to me, it just felt like it was dragging. Um, and it really wasn't going anywhere. So since I decided to DNF it, I went and I read some spoilers about it because I'm like, okay, let me just see how it ends. I mean, at this point, I know I'm not going to finish reading it. I'm not enjoying it. So I just kind of want to see whatever became of this dome and this town and how it ended. And spoiler alert, I'm going to say it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just in case somebody wants to get off and they don't want to hear it. Um, the spoiler is at the end of the day, the dome just miraculously disappeared, and that was the end. Like it was just gone. And I was like, okay, I didn't really get. So that would have been disappointing. Excuse me. That would have been disappointing had I continued to read it, considering that ending. But like I said, I just couldn't get through it. It was sad because it's part of my Stephen King collection. I will not, because I love Stephen King, I will not be donating or getting rid of this. It's going to go back in my collection because I can't part with it, even if I didn't enjoy the book. You just never know. Years from now, I may try it again, even knowing the ending. Sometimes I read a book more than once, knowing the ending, if it's that good. We know I read 11/22/63 twice, um, knowing the ending, but we'll see. But yeah, I was disappointed that I had to DNF this one. So yeah, guys, those are my DNFs. Um, I don't mind sharing it with you. Yes, I read a lot, but there are some books that I just can't read because I can't get into, or I'm just not in the mood for that type of book, and I will put it down and pick something else up. Sometimes I may give myself like a mental break and may have a night where I'm like, okay, I'm not going to read or something like that. But there are some times where you just can't get into it for whatever reason and you have to put it down. I know there are some readers and some booktubers out there who will actually like push through and finish it. Bravo to them. I just personally cannot do it. It just makes reading painful at that time for me. So I just prefer to put it down and pick something else up that I might like. But yeah, if you guys are interested, please comment below. I'm happy to send you these books if you would like, no problem. And yeah, that's what I have for tonight. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.